по-прежнему клюет великолепно, грибов в лесу море, ягод тоже. Я лично уверен, что атомная станция не испортит этих природных условий.
Two decades after the forced exodus, the ghost town of Pripyat should be a depressing sight for those who used to live there. But Alexander Sirota has become a frequent visitor here. How often do you come here?
More and more recently, we have many projects here. Many people want to visit Pripyat, and we provide assistance for them. Many want to know about their homes.
Alexander was only 10 when he was among the 50,000 odd evacuees from Pripyat. In the last decade, his camera has clicked thousands of times in what used to be his hometown. He shoots empty buildings and the world's quietest streets. Every trip has a special meaning.
You know, I don't come here just to take photos. It still feels like home. I spent my best childhood years here. I liked it here. And even those who've never been here before come and feel the calm. So they want to come back here.
Tourism is tourism, of course, but what do you think attracts people to come here?
People have different reasons. Some want to see what an apocalypse could look like. Some want to feel the history. For some it's their childhood, like the atmosphere of the Soviet Union has been preserved. But for me, it's more important not why they come here, but what effect it has on them.
Nowhere else in the former Soviet Union can one see so many symbols of the long-gone giant in one place. And when it was alive, Pripyat was what the Soviet leadership wanted all of their cities to be like. But it was different in many respects. Most of its facilities were financed not from the state budget, but from separate sources, allocated for the so-called restricted cities, where military and nuclear industry workers lived. These shopping trolleys were once filled with groceries, and like most of the Soviet Union, Pripyat never had any shortages in food supplies. Practically everything was available to its residents, and local stores like this one never saw long queues. The only place which was crowded, though, was this liquor store. Locals jokingly dubbed it as a mausoleum, probably meaning that there were as many men here as at Moscow's Red Square. The nationwide anti-alcohol campaign of the 1980s was barely felt in Pripyat.
Виталий Александрович Леоненко, помните, главврач больницы, признался, что медслужба города с самого начала была готова встретить во всеоружии любые неожиданности. Любые. Но вот демографического взрыва не ждал никто. Строители города это застало врасплох.
The birth rate in Pripyat was higher than all of Ukraine. If I remember correctly, the Republic's average coefficient was 17 per 1,000. And we had more than 20. Pripyat was a young city with an average age of 26. People were given homes, and there was a great demand for a workforce in Chernobyl. So everyone worked and liked it there.
Vitaly Leonenko ran Pripyat's hospital, one of the most advanced in the country at the time. Vitaly insists that Pripyat's level of medicine was so high that they managed to save the lives of many affected by radiation just hours after the blast.
Our health care wasn't financed from the state health care budget. There was a special financing plan for cities like Pripyat. So we had the most advanced equipment. Our maternity homes even had video phones. A man could come and see his baby on a video phone.
And that wasn't the only thing which Pripyat could boast about. It seemed that the best of the bunch came here, the strongest, the smartest, and the most talented. Alexander took us on the stage of what used to be a local theater. The rotten floorboards and crumbling walls pose a danger to visitors, so this site is no longer open to tourists. Alexander remembers Pripyat's drama classes. It seemed that half of the town was involved in cultural life.
Here's a photo ban of our drama classes and young actors. And here's a photo of our troupe, which took part in the New Year setup. I'm sitting here. I have 1984 written on my hat. Some asked me why I didn't take it home. I say that if everyone takes their belongings, there would be no more memories of our lives here.
Back in Kiev, Alexander shows the man who used to live in Pripyat some film footage he took in the city. Andrei Neverov was also a child when he had to leave. After 20 years, it appears to be hard to remember what his once humble abode looked like.
What's this room? I don't remember. Oh, it's our children's room. Here's my sister's room. Here's the bathroom. Though I don't really remember what was in it, but I do remember this sofa in the living room. We bought it just a couple of days before the fallout.
Alexander has become almost a Pripyat junkie, sharing the same views of the ghost town with other former residents. 8 years ago, he was involved with the launch of a dedicated website, Pripyat.com. Its popularity has grown rapidly over the years, especially after an address book project was created. A virtual Pripyat was created on the internet, so people could leave their contact details in the hope of finding other former residents.
It's everyone's dream from Pripyat. After the fallout, fate spread us all across the world, and it became a big problem finding each other. Problem which hasn't been solved. It's an attempt to connect people who live in the US, France, Russia, Ukraine, Peru, and elsewhere. Let friends and relatives find each other. And even if one person finds another, we know we've done a good thing.
But the Pripyat.com project is not alone. Organizations like Zemlyaki or Countrymen also unite former residents of the exclusion zone. Most of them have financial difficulties and have to rely on sporadic donations, but they still manage to offer help to the thousands who suffered from the Chernobyl aftermath.
Our initial task was to find relatives, friends and close people who lost each other after the evacuation. We sent letters, posted adverts, made phone calls. Nowadays, our main task is to give psychological and healthcare assistance to the people of Chernobyl. 21 years on, most of them are suffering from various diseases, and we try to help them.
The Chernobyl tragedy scattered people across the country, but a large part of the involuntary evacuees found themselves here. Just a year after the blast, workers from all of the Soviet Union built a substitute for Pripyat, the town of Slavutich. It became home to those involved in the cleanup and also those who continued to work at the plant until quite recently.
In 2000, the Chernobyl nuclear power plant was completely shut down. This was a small tragedy for our town. Over 1,500 families left Slavutich within a year, and we felt totally demoralized.
Standing just 50 kilometers from the power station, the town is believed to be located in an area still affected by radiation. But the mayor of Slavutich assured us there is nothing to worry about.
The town itself is totally clean. The surrounding environment is a different story. But the levels of radiation there are low and can't be classified as a risk to human health.
Nevertheless, some 25,000 people still live and work in Slavutic. But with the Chernobyl nuclear power plant no longer being a source of reliable employment, it's unclear what the future is for Slavutic. The same goes for Pripyat. This ghost town is slowly decaying and starting to fall apart. A short while ago, school number 1 in the area half collapsed, by itself as eyewitnesses say. This has caused speculation as to whether the town is dangerous and should be closed down to the public, or, as some say, even razed to the ground. But this is definitely not something that both Alexander Esaulov and Alexander Sirota have on their minds. Alexander Esaulov writes books one after another, so people will never forget. While Alexander Sirota writes in defense of Pripyat on the website dedicated to the city.
Нас постигла беда. Авария на Чернобыльской атомной электростанции.
Those who in the 1980s called this nuclear city their home believe that it must remain intact for as long as possible, at least as a monument to make the world realize the high price of human error.